let's go ahead and get started. So, Father God, we thank you for this day, for your mercy and grace. We ask that you would bless this show and bless those who are viewing this show and continue to guide us and strengthen us and keep us in perfect peace. Well, let me just share this with you guys because we're in a new medium right now. We're in Can TV studios, as you know, we've always have been. However, we're Zooming now. So we're Zooming live and we're Zooming with information and different people that will be coming to us as opposed to how we used to do the show. But we do have new guests in there. First, I want to thank Can TV. Sylvia, you know you rock. Thank you so much, sister, for always being there for us at Fathers Who Care. And I want to thank the Can TV team for all the good work that you guys been doing. I know we all have been on a little hiatus lately. But we're back. We're back in the game again, and we're going to keep it moving. So I want to just share with you all, if you haven't been counted, please be counted in the census because you count. You count. And we're trying to bring back those resources, additional resources back into our community for our infrastructure. But also, please register to vote. Please make sure that your vote matters and that your vote counts because you do matter. But let's do this and let's move on. Fathers Who Care, this is the show this evening. And of course, we're coming to you tonight to talk about what we can do together, coming together to empower each other, to support each other, and make sure that we make a difference in our community. And so I want to just thank you all for all the good work that you all have been doing in the community. And I want to encourage you, if you need something to do, get in touch with Fathers Who Care at 773-287-5821, or you can log on to Fathers Who Care at www.fatherswhocare, Twitter us, Facebook us, Instagram us, if you need to get in touch with us, and you should get in touch with us because we're doing what we can to make a difference in the community, and we need you. We need your support. But let me just move on and just try to open up this door and bring up our guests. I'm going to introduce to some and present to others none other than our guest this evening, Raquel LaCour. Raquel LaCour is a proud mother of two daughters, one 28 and 21, and she has dedicated her public and community service life to empowering the least of them. And I want to thank you, Raquel, for the work that you've been doing, but I also want to just echo some of the work that you've been doing. You're an editor. You're an editor for Africa USA Today magazine. And you are a woman that believes in advocating, as I alluded to earlier, for the least of them, and not just for yourself. You don't just merely talk the talk, but you walk the walk. And you've been out with us today in the West Garfield Park community, you and our dear friend Morgana. You always in our community, and we was out there educating people on the census, marketing and branding, why it's important for people to be counted. Please be counted. You know, there's a lot of changes going on in the states now where they're trying to back up the counting. They're trying to disenfranchise folks from voting, and they're trying to minimize your interest and your concern. But don't let that stuff fool you. The time is now for you to be actively involved. But without any further ado, what I like to do is I like to first just introduce again Raquel. Raquel, tell us how you been over there. You thank you so much for your patience for us as we worked out these little niches here. But that's all they were, with little niches. Everything is all good. Would you say it's all good for me, please? I can't hear you.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about you, Raquel, before we go ahead and get down to the topics of the census, the topics of behavioral health, get down to the topics of community empowerment, get down into the topic of civic engagement, get down to the topics of what we can do as a community to empower each other in the community. Talk to me, Raquel. Tell us what's going on with you.
Okay, absolutely. I'm actually a mother of two daughters, and I've always wanted to instill in them to have self-value, self-love, and the confidence to get out there and do anything because anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I am a journalist. I have a degree in broadcast journalism. And from there, I have worked in radio, but right now I'm working with a magazine, Africa USA Today magazine. I started off as a freelance journalist and was promoted to the columnist. And we go out and we attend different events around the community to see what's going on, to help people to understand what's going on through a social platform, the social media, as well as the magazine, to enhance the awareness of different groups and organizations.
Well, hey, listen, thank you so much. And you're part of the new Fathers Who Care team, a marketing branding director and outreach. And we want to thank you so much. I want to thank Lori Branch. Y'all remember Laura? She used to be here doing a lot of the shows. Of course, Yusuf. And of course, listen. So, what I want to do, if you don't mind, Raquel, is I have a few questions I'd like to talk to you about in relationship to what we're doing in the community to empower the least of them. And I want to thank you again for all of the work that you've been doing for so many years to empower so many others. But I just want to, Raquel, there seems to be these various different pandemics that are out in the community. Of course, we have the pandemic of the COVID-19. We have the pandemic of self-love or lack of self-love. We have the pandemic of senseless violence in our communities. And of course, we have other issues going on. What can we do, Raquel, as a community? What can we do to reduce substance abuse, mental health, the lack of mental health or mental health awareness? What can we do in the city of Chicago to bring people together, to love on each other, to support each other, and to help to empower each other? What do you think we can do?
Well, first of all, I think that's a moral type of issue. However, people become the product of their environment. What they
Okay.
see is what they view. So we need to have better resources. We need to have mentors for people because I believe when you see better and you know better, you eventually will do better so that they will know that there's alternatives. And if you have an education, that really differentiates the haves and have nots. A high school diploma will only get you to some degree, a job, maybe McDonald's or just something small, maybe two or three possibilities may open up to you. But once you have that degree and you're educated, then you have other opportunities. So we need to have these type of resources in poverty stricken areas to let them realize that there's other alternatives than the streets. And we need actually to people, family, to because I believe that a mother and a father is necessary for children, and children develop early. It's not as they become adults and you want to change them. You have to start character building with your children while they're young so that they learn integrity. They learn to love themselves and other human beings, that they don't feel like it's okay to take someone else's life. And as far as mental health awareness, we have limited funds. So a lot of institutions have been closed, and there's a lack of money that now our justice system has pretty much taken over, where more therapists and counselors are needed. And people need to feel that they're not crazy, that they have a resource out there to go to. And it really is important to have mental health and to have facilities and to have these resources for people in every community.
And I thank you for that. And you know what we really want to use this show for tonight. We're not bashing anyone. We just want to use this show to enlighten and to empower folks. And we're not saying that you're not the best that you can be. We just want to compliment and hopefully bring you some additional resources and support to be the best that you can be. Because we know that we all can stand a little bit of something extra in all that we're doing. And we do know the plight that's going on in the city. I need to tell you, I am, just for the record, so much stuff is going on in the city. It's really got me wound up. I'm literally, just out there stressed because I'm really trying to do the best I can with what I can. However, it's important to understand that it's okay that as we're going through what we're going through right now, it's okay to acknowledge the fact that you might be a little rattled, all right? Because what's going on in the community can rattle you. And so I want you all that are listening tonight to understand that it's okay to say that you might need to talk to someone. You might need a little clinical intervention. You might need a little support. You might need a little bit more prayer. Whatever you feel you need, it's okay. But what we want you to know and what we want you to really understand is that you just can't be idle. Each one should teach one. Each one should mentor one. And I don't think that we are too old to mentor each other. I think what we should continue to do is empower each other and engage each other and make sure folks understand that we are in this together and we're not an island unto ourselves. But I want to come back and talk to you. Specifically, I wanted to talk about civic engagement. I think civic engagement is extremely important right now. Of course, it's important in relationship to being part of the census. And if you don't know what the census is, you should find out about the census. The census. You want to talk to us a little bit about that, Raquel? Want to talk to us why it's important to be involved in the census? Why it's important to register to vote? Why it's important to be actively involved in your community? Hopefully, a block club president or a member of the block club of something actively involved in your neighborhood. Can you talk to us on that?
Yes, because when you vote, that is your chance, that is your voice,
Mm-hmm.
that is your opportunity to get whatever you need for your community. You can back the person that's running for office that supports your ideas.
Mm-hmm.
When you are counted in the census, then those funds are allocated for the police department, for your education system, for the different things that is needed. But you have to be counted so that they have the accurate count, so that they know what type of funding should go into different communities. And
So why are
when
people
you
so
vote,
afraid of it? Why are people afraid to be involved with or to be counted? Why are people afraid to register to vote? Why are people afraid to allowing their voices to be heard? Why are people afraid to take an active role in empowering their community? I believe in the Black Lives Matter, and I believe in all those things that matter. But most importantly, I think we matter, and I think we should all continue to work together. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm pro organizing and pro advocacy and pro helping each other. I agree with that 100%. And I think everyone should continue to protest. Protest for change. Protest for change. But I don't believe, now don't get me wrong, and you can beat me up if you want to verbally. I personally don't care. I don't think we should associate the Black Lives Matter movement or civic engagement with looting. All right? But go ahead. You was talking.
absolutely, I agree with you on that. I don't think that looting is the answer, um, or just cause for Black Lives Matter.
But now we was talking about civic engagement. Why is it important to vote?
Oh, I absolutely believe that your voice is necessary. You need to be counted because you can change the quality of your life, and they can allocate those funds into your community so that there is a change. There's a change as far as however the funding is allocated. It's for education, for your fire department, for your police department, and that they know what each community needs when it's counted and what each community needs to build upon. But voting is absolutely necessary. Your voice does matter.
Well,
Every vote counts.
absolutely. I just want to take this moment because I haven't heard from some of my folks in a while, and we're getting some live feeds over here. I want to thank Gloria Palmer. We miss you all. Michelle, Yusef, Leroy, Lori, Vernon, and all the others that I may have missed. But I'm coming back to you, Raquel. Raquel, tell us, what does it mean to you to pool resources, and why is it important for folks in a community to kind of share their resources or pool their resources for the betterment of your community?
Because
And I'm going
when you
somewhere with
work
this.
I believe when you work together, you guys empower each other. You see what type of opportunities are out there that you wouldn't know. It's all about networking and getting things done. And you need a team to get things done into a full capacity as opposed to not doing anything at all and just sitting back, because when you take action, you make a difference.
Now, thank you so much. Now, I think there's a place for everybody. I think at this buffet table, just imagine this being a buffet table. And we all are bringing, it's a potluck, all right? And we all are bringing something to the table. So, what can we as a community do to work together to empower our communities, to save our communities, to strengthen our communities, and make sure that our children are growing up in an environment that they're safe, that they're not traumatized, that they're not desensitized, but that they have an opportunity to live a better quality of life.
I would like to see people that are middle and upper class come back and show them a different way. I also feel that they should allow them to move to different areas wherever there's some vacancies, to give them a different opportunity to see a different way of life, and so they can have a chance. That's just, I just feel that those are some things that they can do. And also mentors, people that really care about the well-being of others, so that they grow up and they can aspire their dreams and become those things. And because everybody has a goal and a dream and a passion, but if you have a mentor and somebody that you're just not watching on television, but somebody you physically see and that has made it, it lets you know that there's a possibility that you can too. And you just have to work hard and have faith and determination.
So, are you too old to mentor someone? Are we too old to be mentored too?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's always something to learn. There is something always to learn from everyone in all spectrums.
Well, I want to say this to you because I really want to talk about. I mean, there's so many things going on right now, of course, and folks are talking about lack of resources in the community, lack of this, lack of that. But what I really want to focus on is what can we do in lieu of bringing resources back to the community, pooling our resources in the community. What can we do to inspire others in the community to love on each other, to support each other, to trust each other, and to work together for social change in our communities? What can we do?
Take action. Absolutely. You need to take action. You cannot sit back. You need to go to see your alderman. You need to get out there and see your neighbors. Learn, see who your neighbors are. A lot of people live in a community, they don't even know who their neighbors are. And just know who they are. You know, you might have a doctor in the area, people that you can go see, and they're your neighbor at the whole time. They just live down the street. If you take action and go out there and meet everybody and see what needs to be done, you can actively make a change and stand up for a better quality of life for yourself.
So I like to challenge you, and I like to challenge the audience. And it's a statement that I'm rather fond of. Don't talk about it, be about it. So if I make this statement to the audience right now, and I challenge you, audience, not to talk about it, but to be about it, what would that say to you?
Don't talk the talk, but walk the walk. Take action.
So would you encourage our viewing audience tonight to not talk the talk, but to walk the walk?
Absolutely. To get out there and walk the walk.
So how can they do it? How can they do it? Give them some examples of how can they walk the walk.
Like what we did today for Fathers Who Care. We went out there and we put out the yard signs. We passed out flyers. We passed out emergency masks, wristbands. We let them know that there's people that care about them in their community, and to let them know and inform them about the census, that they count, that they are valued, and we respect them as human beings, and we care about each individual out there.
Well, let's just give a shout out to you guys who are out there canvassing the community. And just to let you know that you guys were actually canvassing areas that you knew nothing about. And you guys were not afraid of it. You went out there willingly. You went out there to support the people. You went out there to educate and empower the folks, to enlighten the folks. And I think it's extremely important while we have this time for folks to understand the importance of the census and the importance of being registered to vote. It is important. This is the season. This is your year, and this is your year to be actively involved in change. And change can only come about when you are involved in that change. We cannot continuously point fingers at someone else saying that this is the reason why we're this and this is the reason why we're not. I think we have enough resources in our communities to use that we need to do what we need to do in our community to empower and enlighten our community. Let's quit talking about what someone else do. And if you know someone that's in your community that's destroying your community, you have an obligation to talk to that individual, hopefully, to let that individual know that you cannot continuously destroy your own properties in your community and think that your community is going to be healthy. Can you speak to that fact?
I agree with you. I don't like toxic type situations. I want everybody to care and respect one another, because if they're doing different things like that, they have no respect for themselves
Mm-hmm.
or the community or for others. It's all about character, and respect is like right up there, and that's a lack of it.
So do
They
do,
need to.
do, do you feel with this onslaught of COVID-19, which is truly a pandemic? I mean a major pandemic. We're talking about over 160,000 people who have transitioned. We're talking about close to how many we had about how many million are infected?
Wow, that's a
So
lot. I
so
don't know the accurate number, but it's millions
Absolutely. And so
overall.
what I'm hoping that people will understand that this coronavirus, the COVID virus, a COVID-19, the coronavirus is serious. And people should take it serious and not take it as a joke. And people should practice social distancing. People should wear their masks. People should wash their hands. People should try to understand that this, I don't know where it came from. I'm not calling it China. I'm not calling it whatever it is, whatever it came from. I just know it's here. All right? And I know people are dying at record numbers as a result of this virus. And I just want to encourage those who are watching, please, please be safe. Please wear your mask. Please wear your gloves, your PPE. Continue to educate yourself on what's going on in the community. But I also want you to let the folks know how serious, not just this one pandemic of the coronavirus, but about these other pandemics that are facing people of color in our communities.
Yes, it's very important to stay at home and to be safe, to do social distancing, wear your mask, and stay away, as hard as it is, to stay away from large gatherings, because we want this to be over. We don't want to stay in our homes forever. But if we listen and do whatever it needs to be done, then eventually we can get back to normalcy. But right now we really have to be safe, because it's alarming, the record number of people that are becoming sick, and it has hit close to home because I've had two friends that did get it, and I didn't realize the respiratory issues and the breathing and having to be on an oxygen tank, and how the seriousness of that. I
Hmm.
have not personally lost anyone that I know of, but the, but two close friends had it, and that to me made it more real, and it's very scary. So I admit I wasn't taking it as serious until I realized what had happened to my friends, and their breathing was so bad that they were really scared, and one even had kidney failure, realized that they weren't going to the bathroom, and it took her a couple of days to finally go to the hospital and realize that she had COVID because she was in denial. So
Well,
it is scary.
well, as a committed community servant, which you are, and a committed sister for social change, I want to challenge our audience, those who are watching, and thank you, Pam, Morgana. Thank you all for tuning in, and please continue to watch and support Fathers Who Care. We're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for donations. Hey, listen, I understand now that that you can purchase masks now. People can purchase bulks of masks. Back a few months ago, they was charging us astronomical prices for these masks. So if you feel the need that you want to be a blessing, donate some masks. They don't have to be these nice fabric masks. They can be just the disposable masks. But any donations you can bless us with to be a blessing. Now, tomorrow we'll be back on Jackson and Pulaski. And we've been in that area for the last 8 weeks straight. 8 weeks straight on the same location, educating folks on how to use Narcan. Thank you to our group of friends that we have over at Prevention Partnership and the Westside Opioid and Heroin Task Force, who has been coming out working with us, and we're all on the same team and educating folks from Threshold, the Night Ministry, the Chicago 11 District, Chicago Police Department, Circle Urban Ministry. We had Breakthrough. And we had so many others that are coming out, joining forces on the west side of Chicago and in one of the areas that folks just ride by. We have taken upon ourselves to go out into the community, and we're actually feeding them spiritually, we're feeding them financially, we're providing resources to help them with their rent and other bills. We're also bringing boxes of food into the community. So people are hurting, Raquel. They're hurting right now, and they're in need of some love. They're in need of some support. We got a few minutes left, Raquel. Tell us what you think. Give us some positive thoughts for the day, Raquel, would you please?
Yeah, I just feel that you all should value yourself. It's so important to have self-value, self-worth, and self-love, and to know that there are people out there that genuinely care about you, and we're here to help, and we will provide you with the resources that you need, because we don't need you getting sick or being depressed. We just want you to be happy and positive, so that you will succeed and we all can flourish. That's what
Well,
it's all
and I'm
about.
going to say this here, that we all, those that do, worship a mighty God. And the God that we serve right now is cleansing the land. The God we serve is bringing reciprocity to those who have been out of order. The God that we're serving right now are calling us to task on what he claimed or what we claim to be. So I'm saying to you, those who are watching today, that there's still room for you out here to do the work that you want to do. We're just asking you to join forces with us. We want you to come on out and show your love, show your support. But in closing, Raquel, we was talking about census. We was talking about voting. Now we're talking about the creation of the West Side Behavioral Health Task Force. Thank you, Representative LaShawn Ford, for your insight and your support. And we also want to thank the representative for the creation of the West Side Heroin and Opioid Task Force. Now that we're educating folks on how to use Anoxolone, Narcan, and we're trying to save lives on the west side of Chicago. What can we do collectively to save those folks, or save folks in the community who don't quite understand that these pandemics are real? What can we do?
Well, we're out there, we're doing it, we're educating them, we're informing them, and we're nonstop. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep going out there. We're going to keep informing. We're going to keep telling them. We're going to use social media as our platform. They can go on Fathers We Care, on that social network. They can go to the different events that we're holding, and we'll let them know about it. And as always, we're always doing something. There's something that they can take a part of and come on out, and whatever they need, we'll be here to at least direct them in the right direction.
Well, I want to thank you again, Raquel, for joining with us tonight. I really appreciate that, and we know that you being an editor of Africa USA Today magazine and other mediums, that you're going to support us and help us to market and brand the work that we're doing here at Fathers Who Care. And we want to thank, I want to just do a shout out to Morgana, I do a shout out to Leroy, do a shout out to Pam, Marilyn, Gloria, Michelle, Vernon, Yusuf, Lori, Sylvia, Anna, Deshaun, Quentin, Candace. I want to just thank you all for tuning in with us here at Fathers Who Care on CAN TV 21. A closing statement, Raquel, give us a closing statement. We got to
Love.
go.
It's all about self-love. We're here. We're here to love on you guys. We're here. We're all in this together. So let's just get out there and just, like you said, let's love each other and have self-love and love for others.
You have heard it here first. Now, if additional information, log on to fatherswhocare.org. Call us at 773-287-5821, fatherswhocare.org. God bless you. We love you. Keep the faith. Keep praying for each other. Keep supporting each other. And keep loving on you. Keep loving on each other. Peace.